hello, and welcome on back to Creators Spicy Tea. We are the podcast where we sit, we dish, and we spill all that tea about the adult content creation industry. And today, you guys, is actually really exciting because once again, and this is probably going to become like a little bit of a routine, but once again, I am not physically alone in this studio, which is why we are seeing right now a graphic instead of a video to better protect everybody's privacy. But today, we are sitting down again with, we're going to say the name wrong every time, so here we go. Cesar, or Cesar, the head mod of Fetish Buyers Community, Fetish Want Ads, and an overall community leader. Today, what he and I are going to sit down and do, just going to talk. We've both recently gone through some big life changes. For myself personally, I packed up my entire studio, packed up my entire life, and I hauled ass halfway across the country. I think just sit and look back on our journeys and our growth and development throughout the adult content creation industry. For myself, from the perspective of a creator, and for Cesar, from the perspective of a buyer and, again, community leader. So can we please get a big thank you and welcome to Cesar, and thank you for being here, honey. You ready to dig in?
Yes, let's go ahead and dig in. Like you said, we've both kind of gone through a whole lot of different life changes, and mine started a few months, almost like half a year ago. I remember I ended up posting something about this, just kind of like wanting to get unloaded or just put out there just my entire journey so far through the community, just kind of like reflecting on that and where I've been, how I got to where I am now, how things have changed. So I think it's just good in general to sometimes take some time to sit down and think about where we've been.
Yeah, how the hell we got here.
And then, how things are going now and what we're looking forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, especially since we are a couple months in, but we're in the cusp of a new year. And I mean, shit got weird last year, y'all. So let's just kick back, relax, and just chit chat about our journeys. And then very soon, hopefully, we do hope to see another resource, be it a podcast, YouTube video, text-based resource with some of these exact same questions that Cesar and I are going to ask each other, but we asked them to other members of the community, and we can't wait to get to share that. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. But you want to answer a question first? Because I got one for you.
Let's go ahead and get started.
Hell yeah, we're going to go from the very beginning. And if you hear rustling and chaotic nonsense, that is my dog being Ducky. Stop it. All right, your first question right here. What on earth made you decide to look into buying direct or personalized content or services in the very beginning?
So my journey started, probably not all that surprisingly, around COVID and lockdown, and no longer having any other kind of outlet to meet people and just explore things and do different things like that. So I was living by myself. I was at least lucky enough to be able to go to work every day. So I still had some human interaction. So I didn't go all the way crazy, but it was definitely something that was missing for me. And I actually went through a few different scenarios or processes as I was going along the way. It definitely started with campsites and stuff like that, and being introduced to people that way. Getting to interact in a live setting was something that I was definitely missing, was that live
interaction,
immediate interaction. But then over time, I just realized that wasn't quite my scene. I'm not one for a crowd. I like more of a one-on-one personalized feeling.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where this all ended up kind of starting, was this need to find a connection, this need to find different people and humans and just connect on different levels. And I started searching the community, or different communities for that. So
on Reddit, yeah.
I actually didn't even start on Reddit.
Oh no shit! Where'd you end up?
So like I said, it was me as well as all campsites.
Just campsites.
So that's what I knew was around. Without having to do any research, that's what I knew was already there. So that's where I started just to jump in and dive in and stuff like that. So I knew of that, and then from there it was OnlyFans.
Yeah.
And looking up people specifically there, but yeah.
That makes sense. That seems to be like a pretty common like, I don't want to call it a pipeline, but pretty much a pipeline, because campsites are like the OG.
Mhm.
And then you have OnlyFans, which is the household name. And then you end up on the degenerate side of the internet on Reddit.
Yeah, this is when you decided to go deep and to get really into the weeds. That's where Reddit kind of comes into play.
Yeah, exactly. It certainly was for me anyway.
All right, what led you to decide that you wanted to look into providing content and services online?
So I don't know if I've actually fully shared this story, but it was 2022. I ended up divorcing my husband at the time, and my friend circle was all artists of some form. Pick a medium. I had a friend who did it, and I had always considered myself such a non-creative person. And then when I left my husband, I was living only on disability and surrounded by all this creativity, and I decided, well, fuck, I want to try something that has something to do with creativity, and I want to be able to make some fucking money from it, because at the time, again, living only on disability, you're not making enough to live. um so I started looking into just like the base photography, right? And then it kind of clicked in my brain that I don't have the technical skills to make photography a career. But what I could do is take pictures of me. And we all knew about OnlyFans at that time. It's 2023, January 2023. So everyone knows what OnlyFans is. It's the household name. And so I was like, okay, if I just take like pictures of myself, I can do OnlyFans. I'll be a billionaire. Here we go. Not quite how that works. Not exactly. And then it was about 3 months of being on OnlyFans alone and only promoting on Reddit. This is before I knew about the direct selling side of things. I just started to find myself doing the exact same thing you were. I'm sorry, there's just, for most creators, there's no community on OnlyFans, or there wasn't for me. It was not the right structure for me to be able to find that actual meaningful interaction and community that I do need to have in my life. And apparently now I know I need to have it in my work. But yeah, it was just basically a lot of misinformed decisions that ended up kind of working. And yeah, I wish I would have done more research before diving into it, though.
Yeah, that's a common thing. No matter what side you're on, I think a lot of people just they get an urge, they get it in your head and on a whim, and then you dive into it and you don't like sit down and go, all right, maybe I should take like 2 or 3 months to kind of think about it and like, all right, what do I actually want out of this? What am I looking for?
Yeah.
What is the goal here? Especially on the buyer side, the goal a lot of times is just like I just need to knock one out. I need to get some
Yeah.
stress relief real quick. So you're just trying to find a quick release where, so it takes time to like think about that and go like, well, is that really what I want? Is that really fulfilling for me, or do I want something more? And if that's all you want, then that's great. And you
Yeah.
can take care of that and knock that out. But yeah, same thing for me is like, well, no, there's something more about a connection and interactions and stuff like that that is really what I was looking for, mixed in with everything else. So
Yeah, and that is, I mean, that me fucking up and not doing the research hurt me. Like, I did get, like, in one way or another, like, harmed, either emotionally via blackmail or whatever, due to it. And that's why, like, you and I now, we like have such this huge push with CST. Like, no, do your research first. We're gonna make it easy for you to do your research.
I
Just
mean,
do it.
we're just going to try to flood the market with as much information as we can to be like, you try to make it so you can't miss
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
information. And hopefully once you see one or two things, you can start being like, oh, I wonder if they have this. Oh, I wonder if this. And
Hmm.
all of a sudden you're like, okay, yeah, all the information's here.
Yeah.
That way you don't have to do
Just
what you
knock
probably,
it out.
or do what you probably
Really
had to
good.
do and look in 80 million
Oh.
different places to find little morsels of
Oh,
information because nobody wanted to share anything. Not all that long ago either.
Yeah, no, my God. Even just 3 or 4 years ago when I came in, there
Yeah.
was no information. Well, okay,
There's
there
there's
was
some.
information sharing, absolutely, but it felt, or I perceived it to be, a lot more gatekeeping.
Oh, it was absolutely. There was definitely secret. They would give you some information, but they're like, no, there's some of these things you just need to learn. You need to go and do and learn. It's like,
Mhm.
well,
Yes, that's
yes,
true,
that is
but
100% true, but at the same time, there's plenty of information that can just be shared so people can not get off
help
on the wrong street.
themselves.
Exactly. There's
Yeah.
don't need to be that. It doesn't have
Mhm.
to be that hard. Like,
Yeah, you don't have to have that many fucking roadblocks put in front of you. You don't have to. Yes, you have to mess up and learn, but you don't have to do it alone. And speaking of roadblocks,
mhm.
what are the biggest ones or hurdles that you hit when you first were starting? Like, how did you learn and grow from those two?
So for me, a lot of it was figuring out exactly what I wanted and like finding it.
Mhm.
So it would took time to be able to actually discover what I was actually looking for, where it actually was at. So like I said, I started with campsites and a little bit of OnlyFans and diving into some of that and realizing like, well, this is not exactly what I want, or it's not quite hitting it. And also for me, there is a very like a physical aspect of it too that I discovered later on. So at least one of the girls that I had followed, you can do a bunch of different things that you can offer other items as well. And one of those was they sold their panties.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh, that's an interesting concept. That's something that might interest me. So diving into that allowed me to start looking into doing just general online research for it. And that's what
Mhm.
led me to finding Reddit and defining these communities. And that's actually when I found
Mhm.
FBC and started to look into and dive into that there.
Me too.
Not at that point, that was just literally just,
Buying.
this is a thing that exists. There's people who are interested in the same things that I am, like very specifically, because FBC at the start was very, very physical worn item driven,
Mhm.
much more than content, which
Yeah.
is it's kind of evolved into now.
Yeah.
This is more of a general fetish,
Mhm.
but it was very much, driven for physical item wares at the beginning. So finding an entire community that I was looking for at the time was like, oh, there's a lot of other people who are into what I'm
Mhm.
into and are
Yeah.
providing what I want. That was a great thing to find at the time to be like, oh, okay, so you feel that acceptance. You're like, okay, I'm not a weirdo that wants this. I've got,
Yeah.
there's other people who are accepting and they're understanding and all that.
Yeah, there's a whole crowd of folks like me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But along with that is just learning the ropes of anything else, learning how, like, even though I had been on Reddit for 7 or 8 years, that
Mhm.
I was a professional lurker. I think I went into finding FEC with about 11 karma
Oh.
in 7 or 8 years because I just literally didn't do anything beyond look. So it's learning how Reddit worked and then learning how the community and the system worked, and then having the confidence to know what I'm looking for, what I want, how to find that with different
Mhm.
people, the creators or providers who are supplying that, and then learning how to take care of yourself and making sure that you're not
Yeah.
making mistakes in terms of just, which I absolutely did. The first 2-3 months, it was literally just reach out to
Mhm.
4 or 5 different people every like day and send
Mm.
2 or 3, 4 orders every single week, and just throwing money out there without doing any research. Like, oh, she posted, so, yeah, I want that.
Mm.
Oh, she posted, I want that. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, I got scammed at least 3 times in the first like 2 or 3 months I
Mhm.
was doing it. And then you start figuring things out. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
wait, you got to think. This isn't Amazon. This isn't anything like that. This is,
This is
personal one-on-one interactions with people, and you're just sending money into the ether to people. So you need to
Mhm.
take some time to do your research. Like,
Yeah.
same thing. There's always going to be that component of taking the time to make sure you know what you're doing,
Mhm. Pay
and
attention. Yeah.
and you're taking care of yourself.
Yeah, and then it's it's actually been really fun getting to witness, and I don't know if I've said it, but seeing you put out more and more and more resources for buyers too, specifically around like, hey, I fucked this up. This is how to fix it. You know how cool that shit's been to watch. It's been so dope getting to see that.
Well, I think that's one of the things we've talked about this a lot, is that part of what makes it easier for people to read and understand and kind of like connect with what we're trying to share is the fact that, like, hey, we are already fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
We've already made all the mistakes. We've already done all this.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not coming from a position of like, oh, we just know better than no,
Uh-uh.
we fucked up.
No,
We
yeah.
we made all the mistakes already. So like, let
You
me
got the burns.
let me supply you with some of the things that I did to make corrections from those mistakes to begin with, and hopefully you can avoid some of those
Yeah,
pitfalls when you're getting started too.
absolutely.
So going along with that, so your journey at the beginning, what kind of growing pains did you experience, and what were some of the first lessons that you like learned and had to and grew from?
Okay, so my growing pains were, I think when we start looking at those growing pains, they all came once I had started direct selling on Reddit. And so the number one that I really am in no way complaining about, but I am glad I learned from very quickly. When I first joined the direct selling scene, I kind of exploded. Um, I was immediately, consistently, overwhelmingly busy to the point where shit was starting to slip. Like I was starting to lose track of everything, which is now why I am so fucking obsessed with trackers and tracking every piece of data out there. Because I very expressly, specifically remember one moment where a wonderful buyer came to me after having spoken to him about 2-3 weeks prior. And he just said, well, hey, so how's that video coming? For 3 weeks, I forgot I had a custom video order out. And I had a 3-day turnaround time. So he was very kind and he was very respectful. He had every right to not be. I did fuck up, and that was like a huge, like, hey, you are 3 months into this, you're doing really well, and you're gonna get a scam report put out on you because you're not keeping track of shit. Fuck that. That was my biggest one. It was like, track your shit or get organized. You can't do this if you're not organized. I mean, you can, you just can't do it well and for long, and you can't scale it. The other big one that I think has actually started shaping just how I carry myself in general was learning how to take the decades of experience of customer service I have and switch that customer service voice to fit this industry. So to switch from customer service to client management instead, and switch from, you know, here's your order, have a nice day, to hey, let's have a connection. Let's interact, and learning how to manage and handle other people who are coming from a non-professional standpoint to you, where you have to balance being both professional but also outwardly very friendly and personable. Learning how to manage and balance those two and bring those two together, I think not only has been one of the bigger reasons that my business has been able to be maintained and grow the way it did, but also, like I said, I think it's shaping who I am. It's like shaping how I address people in general, like IRL. It's changed my level of confidence because it's just like, I understand people better now. Just getting to be around so many all the time and developing these like blips of connection and like relations, it's really shaped who I am. It's shaped my business. And if I hadn't learned those two lessons straight from the get out, I wouldn't be sitting here.
And as especially your first point, getting organized, I think we see that repeatedly,
Yep.
repeatedly
Yep.
in the community. In particular with somebody who just getting started and gets into fetish want ads and then starts fulfilling orders, and then as soon as you catch 1 or 2 reviews, all of a sudden there can be this huge influx of just
Yep.
people like, oh, new person, let's go see what's going on over there, and then they start taking orders. And it's one of those things you need to learn too. Like, it's hard to say no when you got people coming to you who want to buy.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to say no,
Uh-huh.
but you need to understand what you're capable of fulfilling, understand what terms you're setting up in terms of like, what are you offering? Because a lot of times I think people are looking to just be like, I'm just going to take every order I can take regardless of what their demands are. Then I'll just get it done whenever I can get it done.
Yeah.
And that leads to a lot of the pitfalls you can also see where, all of a sudden there's multiple reports coming in, or people like, hey, you lose track of, if you said 3 weeks, that's happened. We see it regularly that longer.
Yep.
Where you just completely forget, or then the buyer reaches back out and they're just like, oh, what was the order that you had again? You're like completely forgetting that the buyer existed. And
Yep.
that's a terrible feeling as a buyer. Like,
Oh, I can imagine. It's a terrible feeling as a human.
yeah,
Someone to be like, who the hell are you? Yeah,
when
absolutely.
you've already spent the money on something that,
Mhm.
you were expecting them to be taking care of something that's
Yeah,
very personal.
absolutely.
So yeah, that being organized, taking the time to kind of get that set up and making sure that you understand you're keeping track of all your orders, when they're all due, when you're going to try to map it out and to take care of it yourself.
Mhm.
Like a lot of creators are working around other jobs. Some of them are doing this
Mhm.
full time. Some of them are doing this around full time jobs,
And parents and all that.
kids, and all that. So you need to find your life might be hard to fully plan out like that, but you got to try to schedule it all out and
Yeah.
figure it all out. And you can't just make blanket promises to bring in orders because
Mhm.
you're going to come across way more issues in the long run, or you're going to start rushing out orders and they're not going to be to
Mhm.
quality or standard that you would want or expect. And
Yeah.
then you're going to start losing some of that repeat business that you could potentially have.
Yeah, that is another really good lesson I learned. There is a big difference between I have made money today and I have earned money today. As someone who's never been in a commission-based industry like this is, I didn't know the difference. Like, I've never experienced the difference between the two. So I have to every single day, like let's say I end the day making, like 600-700 and it was all on custom videos. Well, I didn't earn $600-700 that day. No, I made it, but I still have to go earn it by doing the content. So learning that was incredibly important too. That was a good one. Thank you for bringing that one up.
Yeah, definitely. And then, yeah. And then the foyer, like learning to turn that customer service, because this is the customer service business
Mhm.
and industry. And it's also learning to like ride that line of like playing it up and being the customer service voice, but keeping it real and genuine
Yeah,
to a degree.
human. Hmm.
Otherwise, it's like you just like, oh, you feel like you're talking to a bot, and you're like,
Yep.
nope, that's not it either. So you can there's got to be that delicate balance of just being able to be human and interact in that sense, but also keeping that
Hold your line.
professional
Yeah.
line of like, yep, we're gonna do this,
Hmm.
we're gonna need to do this, otherwise,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, we all go through tough days and
At
rough
work,
experiences, and
everyone does. Yeah.
so. But yeah, your business is tied into your customer service. So if you blow up on people and
Yeah.
you have those bad days, then
Yeah.
that will come back to haunt you as well.
I have learned hardcore that there are days when I wake up and I say, I am not going to work today because I will get fired. I know I'm my own boss, but my clients will fire me. There are days I wake up and I am in a piss poor mood and I don't go online because I know I will do more damage than good and likely destroy connections that I spent years building. And
And yeah, that's very true because like, I mean, that's one of the, quote unquote, like an advantage as a buyer. Like if we have a bad interaction like that,
Mhm.
I could just be like, I'm done and
Yeah.
I'm going to move on and find somebody
Yeah.
else. There's so many people who are willing to offer the services. So like, and finding clients, there are plenty of buyers out there as well, but
Mhm.
building, that's taking the time to build up another connection and to invest all that time into somebody that you had already done it for.
Yeah.
And yeah, and some days it's hard because the buyers aren't necessarily always buying.
No, yeah.
So
Oh,
you
yeah.
end up with dry days because of the fact that, oh, well, I need.
Don't have a client base to fall back on. Yeah, because that's
Exactly.
the difference. There's the difference between a customer and a client.
Hmm.
A customer comes and orders one thing that they see on your ad and they decide to pop in and pop out. A client is someone who sticks with you and orders again and again and again. And my books are up near the 800s for clients, and around 64% of them are repeat like clients, not just customers. And that you need to have those connections. They're so important for longevity and stability. And speaking on connection,
Mm.
how important is that to you specifically when you're looking to make a purchase? How important is just the connection with the creator?
For me personally, connection is probably the thing that I'm most looking for
Mhm.
in the community in general sense.
Mhm. Yeah.
So for me, connection is huge. Obviously you can't force it. Obviously you can't just have it automatically be there right from the start.
Mhm.
But for me, like in the long term case, or if somebody who I'm going to go back to repeatedly or continue to work with over time, there needs to be that connection. There's going to be that connection there that we just, we can interact as humans.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And not have it be strictly about orders. And and that's going to be different for everybody. Not everybody really necessarily wants that. Everybody has the time to be able to invest in that. Like,
the spoons.
There's definitely times where, I've stretched myself thin by how many people I'm trying to interact with. And I'm like, oh man, I need to take a break because there's just so much going on and I need to step away a little bit. And luckily I can have the ability to do that. I can feel free. I can take the time to be like, all right, I need to breathe a little bit and do a little bit of that while also moderating.
Yeah. Also never getting a break.
So there's always that part of the aspect that I'm always, always there and into that, but I can always still, and everybody understands, as long as you are open and communicating and you're not just, leaving people hanging in on a whim, you just, hey, I mean, it's going to be 2 or 3 days. I'm just going to step away. I just need some me time. Everybody's pretty understanding and kind of encourages it. Everybody wants you to be good and be healthy.
Yeah.
So they want you to take the breaks too. So, but connection for me it's what really makes the experiences worth it. And that goes, I mean, it's especially true for physical items when I'm purchasing those. Like feeling like I get to know the person and we connected as humans, and it makes everything more intimate and makes everything more enjoyable once I receive everything. But even content wise, like some content wise, and sometimes I will just go and like, I just want something quick and easy. You can get that quick and easy.
Easy.
But there's, when I'm doing like a real like custom order or something that I wanted, is that's a little bit more time in or a little bit more thought and actually work things out with the creator. Like this is where I like to collaborate, and I have like a framework or an outline of an idea, but I like to be able to allow a creator to be like, I want you to put your spin on this because I don't want
creative freedom.
I don't want just my brain to just be dumped out by somebody else. Like I want you to express yourself. I want you to be able to take some ownership and be able to make this your art as well. And so having that connection with people allows you to be able to have those open interactions and to really explore different ideas and then find new things that you might not have realized that you enjoyed as well. So, and all that for me stems from building connections within the community.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I get that for sure. And it should be said just straight off the bat that building connections with a client is an incredible, incredible, incredible thing to do for your business. At the same time, if that is not your business model, or if you do not have the spoons for that or any of that, you don't have to do that. You just have to change your strategy. So it's not like if you get into content creation, you're going to have to be best friends with everybody. It'd be exhausting, but you just have to have a different plan.
And it's not even just that as well, too. There's the whole idea that just because I purchased something from you doesn't mean that you now owe me all your time whenever I want it. That's not it either.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
There's very much understanding boundaries as well. As a buyer, like I understand too, like I can get a gauge pretty quickly from when I reach out to somebody who I've never interacted with before if they're going to be open to some light banter because of the way that I send my initial message. I always try to put a little bit of a human touch on it in the beginning. And if they respond back with very, just strict, like hitting all the business points and just like, hey, I can do this, here's this, then I know what this is the business transaction. And I'm not going to push anything and we're going to go from there. But if they hit me back and they're, they introduce themselves and kind of like give me a response to what I had said and kind of started out that way, then I know, all right, we can
go back,
pepper in a little bit of that. Yeah. And still understand the entire time that it's never about, I'm never expecting anybody to give me their time. Yeah.
You're not asking for GFE or girlfriend experience, right? You're just getting an order.
Exactly.
And a little bit of human interaction.
And that's the other big thing with me is like the interactions that I always have too are never sexual or fetish in nature when I'm not specifically talking about my order. Anything else beyond that is just a human connection. Hey, how are you doing? Hey, you have a dog? How's the dog doing?
Yeah.
Anything, or you look through their posts, and that's the big thing about, having like a personalized post history too. Like it allows people to like connect on something. Oh, you were working on an art project. How's that going?
Yeah.
It's just things like that. And people want connections as well. So people like hearing and being able to know that they're being seen and heard.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I want to share. So like, it's not hard to build those connections as well, make it genuine without having to it always be revolving around
Mm-hmm.
the fetish community and everything
Yeah,
as well.
absolutely. You can build. I have, for example, I have a specific client who I know only orders about every 3 to 4 months. Um, but we talk about work. We talk about CST together in the downtime, and it's always managed. It's never like I'm feeling overwhelmed because I'm able to keep that boundary and they understand that boundary. But that little bit of human interaction here and there, dabbled throughout the months, it feels fucking good. It
Mhm.
feels human. It feels human as shit, and it feels nice.
And that, I'm sure, I mean, it goes both ways. Like, I know a lot of times sometimes it's the buyer or the client reaching out, just kind of checking in, and you're like, oh yeah, and you just kind of respond to them and you check in again. But then as a buyer, when a creator randomly just reaches out and just checks in on you and just kind of want to like gives you an update on life too, it feels good. It's like this nice, like, oh, I'm glad that they feel comfortable and safe enough to just reach out and open up
Yeah.
and share. So it's like, we're all humans. Building off that, what kind of an impact have other creators had on your business and your mindset? And has it been either from direct interaction with them or just seeing how they operate in the community?
Oh my God, I could go for 10 billion years on this question. I think I'm gonna try and not name drop. But I will say there is one creator out there who built her business and then built a community and a resource and education platform for creators. And when I had dove into direct sales and I started getting more and more frustrated by so much gatekeeping, I found her, and that completely shifted my concept of like who creators are as a whole. Because before that, I had only ever seen information handed in nuggets and never like, here, this is what you need. Let me help. Right. And so I do always say I've kind of blueprinted my business after that. I said, okay, I'll build Allie Rope until she's like self-sustainable, basically. And then I want to do the same thing she did. I want to help any and everyone I can too. So there's that one. And then I've talked about this a lot. Actually, quite recently, I spoke about CRC, or Creators Resource Chats. I was going to quit content creation in my first 3 or 4 months. For 3 to 5 months, I was very, very much so planning to quit, because I was lonely. This is a job in which you interact with people all day, every day, and they can be wonderful interactions and they can be meaningful interactions. But you know what? I want to bitch about buyers sometimes. Yeah. And you know what else? I want to talk shit about the lame parts of content creation. I want to complain about, I dropped my dildo in the sink and it cracked my tile. I don't know. The weird shit that I can't take to like my IRL friends. I can't take to clients or anything like that. So finding that Discord community and the people who built it and then helping build and like nurture that community and all the creators in it, not only made me stay, made me keep going, made me want to keep going. But now there are days now very regularly where I wake up and I'm like, I ain't going to work. Get on a quick call with one of my girls, and I'm like, all right, let's go pop some pussy and make some money. Let's go, baby. So it's really like, yeah, no, the creators around me have shifted my entire business. I built a business because I love them so much. And they've shifted who I am as a whole human being. I've never met a community of people more fucking weird and more like myself than I have in creators. And so yeah, no, I wouldn't. And I will very specifically say, I know a lot of you know I have bipolar. And so what I can say is that without a few very specific creators, and I hope you, my wife and my girlfriend, know very specifically who I am talking to, they saved my life. They kept me here and going many times. So yeah, I'm not who I am without creators, and I would not be where I am or even here probably without them.
It's amazing sometimes to like see like how many people feel like they have to go through this alone.
I know.
And
Oh, I know.
I think that's part of the reason why I've had a lot of success being able to reach out and build connections with a lot of creators without ever ordering anything,
Hmm.
is because I just reach out and been able to talk to them in a human way
Hmm.
and just let them express themselves and
Yeah,
some of the frustrations, or just
get that shit
get
out.
some things out. Yeah, exactly. Get some things out that they haven't been able to share. And then through now knowing you and working with you, I know some of these communities as well, so I can start
Hmm.
pushing those on them. Like, hey, there's other people who are like you. There's other people who want to be able to help out and share, and want you to be able to vent and just ask questions and everything.
Yeah, there's
So like
forums out there. There's
you can
communities there. You
you
just
can go and find it, but it just seems like a lot of people go into it and they just feel like you're alone,
yeah.
and there's just nothing.
Yeah, and you're not. You're so not. You guys, there are so many creator communities. Okay, check the description box for this episode. I am definitely not going to forget, and I am going to remember to put a link for a new resource that we have up on the Creator Spicy Tea website. It is just a gigantic ass list of creator communities, and they are all there and ready for you. So I'm going to make sure to add that.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big one, because but just we all need community.
Have to.
You know, you don't have to be the most into it, and you don't have to be the most interactive, and you don't need to be
Mhm.
somebody who's just constantly there and driving it or anything, but just knowing that there's other people there that are there when you need it, when you had to have a question, or when you want to celebrate, you got something, you're like, hey, I did
Yes!
this and I feel great about it, and you have a whole group of people who are there just to celebrate with you. It's
Yeah,
amazing to.
we have a whole channel in CRC that is just labeled Show It Off, where you just show off your shit and then get celebrated by hundreds of people. It's pretty dope. And honestly, even in those communities, what I can say is I'll go through periods of time where I don't want to fucking talk to anybody, not even through text in like a Discord server. But you know what? I'm still sitting in there laughing and like reading and like still like with community, even if I don't want to interact. So if you're not the most interactive person, that's okay. You still don't gotta be alone and not be interactive.
Yeah, just know that there's other people out there who are going through the same things that you're going through. We've talked about this before, but the fact that, yeah, I mean, if you're part of this community, there's a higher than likely chance that you got some kind of neurospicy thing going on.
Yeah,
And
what is that? All creators, like almost all creators I know of, we all are no spicy bitches and boys.
realistically, and when you really think about it, I'm pretty sure if you talk to most buyers, they would be right along in the same boat too.
You know, I think that just classifies for all of humanity.
Yeah,
at
we're
this
just
point. We're all a little
we're just
fucked up.
yeah, we all got some issues going on. But yeah, just like this. So just knowing that, even in that sense, that there's you guys specifically in CRC or take special care to make sure that you're communicating and you're presenting
Mhm.
everything in a way that isn't going to trigger people and isn't
Yeah,
going to be sensitive to
yeah,
how people might react to things. So it's like it's something that's not just like there. It's just like something
safe.
that exactly it's safe, and it's,
Yeah,
there's an emphasis put on it.
yeah. We have a beautiful team. They I'll be very honest, I'm more of a mascot than anything else. But goddamn, this team, they work so hard to make this such a safe, healthy, helpful, happy space. And it really is. It really is. All right, let's switch around and we're gonna go to the more sexual side of things. All right, have you ever worked with a creator who kind of just blasted your mind open to like a new fetish or kink or service that you just would never have expected to enjoy or even be interested in?
I don't know if I've ever had anybody like completely bring about something that never
Mhm.
would have popped in my head to begin with, but I've definitely had interactions and explored things that I might have had like a cursory, well, maybe this might be interesting or something like that. And then they took that and really put it in a way that like, oh, there's a whole lot more depth to this. There's a whole lot more that goes into this than
Mhm.
the narrow-minded scope that I had it on it to begin with. And definitely like blew my mind open in that sense. Like, oh, there's a lot more here that can be played around with. There's a
Yeah.
lot more here that can be explored, and this actually excites me in a way that I'd never expected it to excite me as well. So there's definitely a lot of that I've encountered, or having like a general idea that I do, and then allowing people to express themselves in different ways. And Ducky agrees.
Ducky.
But yeah, so it, finding different ways to express themselves. So like they might take my idea and show it to me in a way where I'm like, oh, I never would have thought of taking it in that direction, but it hit me, and like
Yeah.
I really enjoyed how that worked out. Or I'm somebody who very much likes a more raw
Yeah.
feel to the content that I purchase. I like to feel more intimate and personal a bit, rather than
Very like amateur, very like very
over something that's a lot more edited and cleaned up and made to be look like something that's really almost like professional level looking. But I can dive back and forth because I've had experiences on both sides. I'm like, oh, that actually, this idea in this sense makes a whole lot more sense being done with more stylized editing and cleaner and cleaning it up and doing a lot of this other things and putting some things done in post and all that.
Yeah.
Like, that took my idea and turned it into something that I wasn't even expecting or thinking about, but it really hit and worked for that.
You didn't know could be a thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, that collaboration.
And then finding other ideas from somebody let me know about something they had done for somebody else, and then we turned that and slightly twisted it and made it something that was very stripped and very raw and very personal. And getting to see that and getting to build up a connection with somebody and then having them show themselves in that sense was also just like, oh wow, that felt you're like, oh, I almost feel like I shouldn't be one. Is this really for my eyes? Oh my goodness. So it's just getting to explore a lot of things in that sense too. So there's definitely been times where certain ideas in kinks have been brought to my attention. I'm like, oh, this is something that is definitely worth diving into more and exploring it a little bit more. And then even with like that, with like ideas and how it's stylized and how it's presented and how it's framed and all that, that even I'm like, oh, yeah, these are ideas I never would have thought of, which is part of the reason why I prefer to have a general outline and not have such a hard, strict script or anything like that. Which, if that's what you're into, I mean, that's perfectly fine. If that you know exactly what you want, then go for it. You'll get exactly what you want. That's just how my brain works. And I also feel like when creators are able to express themselves and put their own art into it, they seem to enjoy it, and they really, really go for it too. And you can see it that they're like, oh yeah, they're much more involved. They're much more into it. They're much more
and
invested.
And on top of that, like, so this is just for myself, very personally, for my own practices. But if a buyer comes to me with a fully scripted, like step by step, okay, that's fine, and I have no problem with that. I am going to be reading from a teleprompter. Like, it's not like trying to be lazy or anything, but I'm not going to memorize 6 pages. So I'm reading from a teleprompter, and I'm okay with that. I'm still more than capable of getting that emotion and all that portrayed. But if I'm allowed to just run my damn mouth, you'll see the actual me in my content and not just content. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'll see the creator in the content that they created.
Yeah, exactly. And I would assume if you're somebody who has that in depth of a script and they want
a specific thing,
then that's probably exactly what they want. Is they want you reading off because they don't want you to miss a word, a line, or anything. They want everything hit timestamps, all these things. This movement's going to tie into this, so you need to hit all that. And I don't know how you do that without having
a
teleprompter or something.
I tried so much. I tried everything.
Yeah, I can imagine. So, but yeah, and that's a little part of the process. I mean, I'm sure of like, depending on what you're into and what you like, and then knowing yourself and then what you can deliver as well.
Yeah, yep, that's very important. Knowing what you're capable of.
All right. Kind of building off that, what has been your experience with clients, and have they shaped a part of who you are and what you now provide? Like, if you expanded or grown your business?
Yeah. What has been my experience with clients? It's a terribly written question. We should have did a better job on that one.
Yeah,
It's broad as shit. No. Honestly, if I were to categorize my overreaching experience with buyers in general, it's just positive, net positive. Um, yeah, there's assholes and there's people who've done harm and there's people who've done things that are fucked up and deplorable and go to jail. But on the flip side of that, there's some buyers that I like, they're my friends. They're like actual people who I want to reach out and message and talk to for no fucking reason or money other than, hey, you're a dope guy and I want to hang out with you right now. Let's hang out. And just being able to develop those kind of connections and like relationships with clients has absolutely shaped who I am as a person. I am significantly more personable in general. I'm more confident in just being who I am because fuck, I mean, 800 people can't be that wrong. I mean, they can be. We're seeing it. But you know, what are the odds this time? But it's like I've become much more self-assured in who I am and how I carry myself and my demeanor because of the feedback and the interactions and the back and forth that I have had through the last however many years with all these different people, because you're bringing in all these different personality types and their own whatever they have going on, and you have to learn how to adjust. I had to learn how to adjust myself to better like fit that specific interaction, and in like learning how to adjust myself to fit best to an individual client's needs has actually taught me more sides of myself that I didn't know I had. So, yeah, no, buyers have made, yeah, there's shitty ass motherfuckers out there, but there's also dope ass motherfuckers too.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I'd say
absolutely.
net fucking positive. Overall, net positive. Yeah. I mean, except for that one guy. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I know, though, for yourself, you don't interact as often with other buyers in the community, but is that something you want to see changing?
Yeah, on a personal level, I don't interact with a lot of buyers. Here and there, random messages, people reaching out for some help and advice, which I will always gladly provide, you know, help and assistance in something like that, or if somebody's looking for some help on how to just handle some situations or something like that, I am more than willing to help with that
Yeah.
whenever. I've had a few rough direct interactions with buyers when I try to connect with them on a more personal level, and it just seems like that kept on hitting and hitting and hitting.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just kind of made the conscious decision to like, I'm already moderating. I'm already getting to interact with them on a professional level to a certain degree.
Yeah.
On a daily basis. I just decided that for me personally, it's not for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is also even somewhat kind of what I realized when we talked about the beginning of my journey, like camera rooms and stuff like that is not for me because I like the one-on-one aspect of a personal connection with a creator. I'm not interested in the group chat
Yeah.
type feel
Yeah.
with other buyers. It's just not for me.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, but I do know that there are a lot more buyer groups that are popping up and are becoming more popular. And there's groups where buyers are able to go and interact and not have some kind of fear, anything
by anyone else.
exactly.
They don't want to be.
So even with FEC, one of the things that we pride ourselves on is the fact that everybody can comment on posts, so you can get a lot of interactions, and we can get buyers and sellers communicating together.
Multiple
But
perspectives.
a lot of times that can also lead to buyers not wanting to post anything because they're fearing that their thoughts or ideas or their opinions are going to be reviewed or seen negatively, and they're going to get a backlash for it. And it has happened on multiple occasions. So having spaces where it can just be buyers and they can just communicate and talk is absolutely important, and they 100% should exist. And I'm glad that they're out there for the buyers who want to utilize them. And then there's other members on the my team and FEC that are a part of those groups, and I'm glad
Yeah,
that they have those spaces.
absolutely. It's just as it is in my mind, because for the longest time I didn't realize that private buyer communities was a thing. Because come on, girl, use your brain. But I do remember there's this moment in that time where I'd found CRC and I was talking with a buyer and who had mentioned that, hey, they wish they had friends they could talk to about buying, you know? And I'm like, damn, that sucks. Like, y'all don't have that shit. I got that shit. It sucks to suck, but like, shit, you guys should. And so it is very, in my mind, it's just as crucial for that creators have community, that buyers have community. Safe, private, community, free of judgment and bullshit. Free of most judgment and most bullshit.
Yeah, I can never be completely free. I have other reasons to be a little bit skeptical about them as well.
Mhm.
I've seen too many things pop up that make me go, I'm not okay with it. And I don't know how prevalent it is. It feels like it's almost always to a certain degree somewhat prevalent
Mhm.
whenever I've
Mhm.
been shared information about it. So for me, it's just like, it's just best for me to absolve myself from it and fully. The other thing is I really don't want to moderate any more spaces.
No.
I
No.
don't want to be a part of moderating any more of those spaces. FBC and FWA are enough for me.
Your plate's full enough.
We don't need to add anything else. And yeah, that's not my type of interaction that I'm going to be getting involved in.
I don't blame you.
So that is just, but is it like 100%? That's a very personal thing for me, but I do fully understand. And I do believe as well that, there needs to be those spaces where
Mhm.
people can be safe to
Mhm.
just share and interact with other people who are like-minded and share
Mhm.
some of the
Yeah,
same things and be able to just have that sense of community.
absolutely.
Let's see here. We got a couple more questions left. So how do you feel like you have grown as a creator, or both as a creator and a person, since you've gotten into the community?
How much time we got? Not actually much. Here we go. Okay, so Allie, this thing that I am, this is not who I used to be. Anybody who knows me now would not have known me before I started this. It would have been a different person. I was and always have been the very quiet one in the background who wants to melt into the floor. Y'all, it's to the point where when I did our first YouTube video in which like my whole ass face was in it, I was shaking and almost in tears because I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to be in front of people and be seen and all that. But now it's like, fuck that shit. I got a voice and I'm going to use it. It's going to be loud and you're going to tolerate it. Like, going through content creation has given me such a sense of self, a sense of being, and like a sense of, yeah, like, no, I deserve to have space. Intrinsically, we all deserve to take up space. So I think that going through content creation, that's what that taught me. It's okay to be loud and have an opinion and have people not like your opinion. It's not okay to stifle your own opinion to make sure everyone else is going to be comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I think, yeah, if I break it down, that is what it's taught me. It's a sense of self, a sense of, I don't want to say confidence. It is not the right word, but I cannot think of the correct word. So we're going to write it out. It's giving me a sense of confidence.
Yeah, it's gone from being you're just here to you want to placate everybody and you just want to be you don't want to ruffle any feathers to
Yeah.
being nope, I'm just gonna be who I am.
Yeah.
And then just yeah, it's a self-assuredness. It's that
Yeah. You don't have to like it. That's okay. You also don't have to be around me. I think we're going to kind of wrap this up and close this up here with our last question because it's an hour in already, you guys. How do we always go so long when I sit down with someone? I talk too much. All right. Our final question, and I'm going to throw it out here for both of us. And it's just, is there anything that you personally would like to see more prevalent or more available to help others out in their journey?
I think the big thing that we've been already kind of touched on and we've been working on is just getting more information and resources out there in a general sense. But I think the biggest thing that I would like to see is just more open dialogue and discussion in safe and respectful ways online for everybody to be able to just share their opinions and not be torn apart for what sharing what
Yeah.
they want to share or anything. Just letting people just have express themselves, give their opinions, have some counterpoints done, both sides being able to interact with each other. Because I still feel like there's this gap between
There's a divide.
buyers and sellers, and to a certain degree, there's always
Should
going
be.
to be, and there should be one,
Yeah.
but there's hopefully can be a little bit more.
We could throw a bridge over that bitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there can be some connections there, and there can be some open dialogues that happen, so that way both sides can understand
Mm-hmm.
what's going on with the other side and get a better understanding and learn those few things too, so they can relate better
Mm-hmm.
and then hopefully start building up a little bit more
Yeah.
the community on both sides.
Yeah. Yeah. Fully agree. And also go fuck yourself, because that was literally going to be my answer.
Yeah, that was just that's the long.
Yeah, it really is. She's on the T-ball. It really just does come down to I just want to see people talking. You know, we are in such a privileged space that we have all of these platforms where open and honest and respectful communication can take place. And we are in this privileged area of having so many different people and perspectives and thoughts and processes. And we could all be benefiting so much from just hearing each other. So, yeah, more open, honest, respectful, meaningful communication with everyone, creator to creator, creator to buyer, you name it, buyer to buyer. Yeah, that's what I would want to see too. Don't know how the fuck to make that happen.
We've been trying to chip away at it. We've been trying to work on it. And we're just gonna keep working at it.
Yeah.
That's all we really can do is just kind of keep
Yeah.
doing what we can.
Yeah, and getting to see the conversations that do pop up over on creator Spicy Tea's sister subreddit r/fetish spicy tea has been really fucking amazing. Everyone there, it has been open and honest communication, and there's not been judgments. There's not been nothing nasty.
Yeah, it's just people just wanting to
Which,
post and interact and share. I mean,
yeah, just yeah, that's what it needs to be. And we have been seeing more and more and more, even buyers now lately, just sharing their experiences publicly. And that's been fucking amazing to get to witness.
yeah, I think we're starting to see that a few more buyers are finding their voice
Mm-hmm.
and being willing to share it and not necessarily care about what's going to be coming back from it. Sometimes it's a little rougher on the edges, but we can work with that. We can work with that. I guess building out of that too. One of the things that we have talked about is just we've done a really good push to try to get as much creator information out there. I probably need to do a little bit more
Buyer education.
buyer education and more buyer resources to try to get as much out there as we can.
Yeah, that'd be great. And I do know a couple, like, I know that buyers do listen into these podcast episodes. So, y'all, if you want to comment anything that you want, like a resource out on, just throw it in the comments below and we can make that a priority.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the other thing I know that big part of both of us is that we're so Reddit focused.
We really are.
That's where we that's our bread and butter. Yeah, that's what we know. In getting to talk with other members in the community and where they're building their stuff, everything from their business and everything, that's making me realize that I need to start doing a little bit more research and diving into other platforms and other spaces, just because there's a whole lot more out there.
There's so much. Yes, we can put out 8 gajillion resources on Reddit alone because she's so stupid. My God, if there were 8 gajillion creators only on Reddit, there'd be no money. So we got to make sure, like every other platform, that we're nailing those out too. I think we want to see a lot more camming resources coming in. I think, y'all, I did it. I love y'all so much that I got a new OnlyFans account. I got to go ID verified today, but we're going to have more OnlyFans resources. Hopefully some Fansly. Hopefully we'll see Casey start doing a whole lot more posting over on the website too, with resources on OnlyFans and Fansly.
Yep, and then we've got some other things planned with some, like you mentioned, the specific cam uh, campsite users and all that. So diving into a little bit more of that, getting
Mhm.
some more information
Yeah.
around how that works. We're gonna have to figure out what's going on with Discord.
That's a tomorrow project.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's just diving into everything and kind of
Yeah.
ex- expanding on what we're kind of focused on and what we know
Yeah.
and building it out into
Yep.
everything and anything.
Yep. 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 All right. I think an hour and 2 minutes later, we nailed it.
I think we got it.
I think we got through all the questions. All right, y'all. Thank you guys so much. I hope this was really like at least entertaining for y'all, or just kind of gave a little bit of a just a story time for today. And definitely keep your eyes peeled for the next resource in this series. It's a two-parter. We'll either do podcast, written text, or a video for kind of these same questions, but answered by y'all and by the buyers. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. And can we please get a huge, wild, and rambunctious thank you to Cesar or Cesar? Thank you for being here, honey.
Absolutely.
All right, y'all. Thank you all so incredibly much for sitting on down with me. I hope you guys are doing so well. I hope you are so safe, so sane, and I hope you are absolutely flourishing.